And so, as Udaan touches down after its penultimate flight, arriving at a warm and habitable southern zone from the grey and cold of the north yesterday, the excitement is both obvious and envious. As the south zone readies itself to pull out of the sorting hat, another champion for Udaan, as it has done in the three preceding years, namely Naveen Kumar from Sai Mitra in 2020, Jay Kantan from TCS in 2021, and in 2022, Preetham Upadhyay from Barclays. All three coming from the South Zone. Remember those names, for you'll see a couple of them again. Today's contenders and pretenders are here for the passage into the national final, a transit that demands drudgery, desire, and destiny. Welcome along, everybody, to the promise of a stirring South Zone final of the 13th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz. It's a hugely reputable quiz backed by three stellar organizations: Steel Authority of India Limited, National HRD Network Ranchi Chapter, and National HRD Network. And I am your host and quizmaster for the evening, and for the last time this calendar year, Ajay Punya. Please join me in welcoming our six quality players who'll attempt to drive today's contest with intent to put forth a player who'll keep the Udaan Championship title in the South Zone itself. As participant number one, the champion in the last of the offline era of Udaan in 2019, champion again in 2021, and back again to even out 4 wins on the trot for South Zone in another odd year, 2023. This is Jaykantan from TCS. As participant number two, a debutant at Udaan, always a joy to welcome new challengers. We had his colleague in the zonal final last year. So the nameplate changes, but the organization plate remains. This is Rahul Jayanti from RINL. Next up, he's reached the summit before, but that title was 3 years ago. He knows, though, what it takes, and he's here to end a personal drought. He is Naveen Kumar from Sai Mitra Construction. Next up is the Mr. Consistent at the South Zone final. He made it to the national final last year, but it took a tiebreaker question at the end to deny him the first runner-up spot in South Zone, a 1-2 at the national final. Action replay perhaps beckons. This is the ever-smiling Cherian Verghese from Indian Oil. Next up on the sheet is another new qualifier from a not-so-new organization, completing the baker's dozen of zonal finalists from the different arms of SAIL, attempting to match, in fact, do better than the talent he's replaced. This is Jyoti Prakash from SAIL CFA. And finally, another one of our debutants, rounding up a total of 10 debutants out of 24 across all zones, marking a debut for his organization as well in Udaan. This is Sachin Sultanpure from Canara Bank. Now, I've offered each one of you a rousing reception, a reception that each one of you so thoroughly deserved. Perhaps you know it already, but just in case you don't, the two runner-ups from the three previous editions have qualified for the national final again this year. So whoever goes on to greet them in the final, expect a tough battle. Okay then, time to now invite the centerpiece of Udaan. We have Mr. Sujit Peter, Regional President, State, National HRD Network. Sir, pleased to have you with us. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Ajay. I think I need to first congratulate you for an outstanding way you host this event. It gives me a feel as if I'm sitting through a live event. So hearty congratulations. And my sincere appreciation to the Ranchi chapter for doing this over and over again. So welcome to the 13th edition. I'm not going to take much time, so I know how the quizzing circle works. It's like when you go for a blockbuster movie, and if you have to watch through a mega serial, I know what it means. So I'm just going to keep this very very short so that you guys can focus on your core business today. So I represent an organization called Infosys. Been with the Infosys for the last 23 odd years, and I'm the HR business leader at Infosys, and currently the regional president South for NHRD, being the former president of the Chennai chapter back in 2013 and 15. So I'm very familiar with this model. I've seen through multiple such quizzes, and this is a very, very keenly and closely fought event, a very prestigious event. So what am I going to talk to you is all about two important points. If you know of NHRD and if you've still not been a member, I encourage you to do so very, very quickly. The reason is very simple. I'm not too sure how many of these six finalists who are here are HR professionals and the way you can influence people down in your organization. I think if you look at any professions, professional organizations representing the profession is absolutely essential. So you have doctors having a professional organization, teachers, lawyers, and so on and so forth. But for when it comes to HR, we have to fend for ourselves. This is an organization with over 17,500 members across 33 chapters and still growing. I think the current national president, Mr. Prem Singh, is all out to ensure tier 2, tier 3 cities also have chapters so that HR professionals, young students in tier 2, tier 3 cities also have the opportunity to experience world-class learning through the chapter. Now, when it comes to an event like this, a quizzing event like this, one thing for sure, if you have to be in any quizzing format for that matter, I think preparation is the key. So you do prepare a lot for to be in this kind of event. Now, the exact challenge what we face today, if you go to a college circle, apart from the quizzes, professional quizzes, even to our own core HR professional, the lack of reading has gone for a toss. So I have two specific requests to this particular audience. When you as professional quizzes are there, see how much you can give back to the younger generation, which is there in schools and colleges, largely in colleges, I would say, whereby you can impart your knowledge. How do you prepare for an event like this? How do you read it? How do you read? How do you prepare? And how do you know, kind of retain this knowledge and bring it out at the right moment? I think that is something which will be of great help if each one of you can do it in your own part in whichever city that you represent. Number one. Number two, the power of network. I think we are only what we are if we stay as individuals. But when we come to an organization like this, I think we always say this: your net worth is only your network. Today, when I joined, when I joined NHRD in 2013, I had no clue about what this chapter was all about, what NHRD was. In the last 10 years, the number of friends that I've made, number of friends whom I've not even met, but spread across the country, available over a phone call, getting things done for you is simply amazing. And I always say this to young professionals that it is always good to be part of a professional organization. And I can't think of a better organization than NHRD, which is run so professionally. Anyone in this organization can take up leadership position if you display that skill. So I encourage you, not just you to become members, but also to spread across the word in the organization that you represent. I see a variety of organizations, right from TCS to Canara Bank to very, very different organization. I think it's our request, the earnest request is if you have a great experience here, please do ensure that you pass on the message to your team members. If you're not from HR, spread the word to your HR department saying, look, there's something like this on NHRD. And please do not think NHRD is only about for 50 plus kind of people. I mean, the kind of youth council that we have, the young talent council, what we call, we are reaching out to the youngest of youngest HR professionals today so that their knowledge, their experience is also added to this large organization. As I promised, I will not take much time. Time now is 8:10. I have given back the organizers 5 minutes. And I'm actually as interested as all of you to sit back and watch this wonderful performance. So all the very best to the six participants. Keep the southern flag flying and make sure that you win the national event as well. Back to you, Ajay.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, sir. Sir's words, I hope, bring you at ease while also energize you to give your best? Well, at the outset, I'll quickly lay out the agenda for you. It is to finish amongst the top two, for it's the top two who qualify for the national final and bag cool prizes of rupees 25,000, rupees 15,000 as well for finishing first and second in today's zonal final, respectively. And of course, in the admiration of your qualification in the zonal final, the remaining four will receive a prize of rupees 5,000 each. You're welcome. Right then, some numbers before we begin: 88 and 29, 48 and 47, and 118 and 64. Those were the scores of the qualifiers from the East, West, and North zone, respectively. The fact that this is the last of the zonal rounds means we have some observations. What are they? With a base score of 10 across every question in each of the rounds that are going to follow, getting somewhere between 4 to 5 answers should keep you in the hunt to qualify. And another thing that the data also tells us is that an early advantage helps in making more rational and less emotional decisions at the end. The fact, however, is that our sample size is just 3 zonal rounds, so the null hypothesis above stands annulled. Lest I confuse you any further, let's begin with round 1. It's called Super Over. I'm going to be asking you 6 questions. Each one of them has 2 answers. 15 seconds of time on every question for you to hit the buzzer. Once when you hit the buzzer, you can either answer both. You can either give me both the answers or any one of the 2 answers. If you want to give both the answers, the round is called Super Over. So you have to say the word super. If you say super, then you can answer both. If you write on both counts, you get plus 10, plus 5, so that's 15. If you write on one, wrong on the other, plus 10, minus 5, you're left with 5, and I move on to somebody else who's after you on the buzzer for the other answer for plus 5 and minus 5. But if you play safe, you can decide which of the 2 answers you want to give. I've masked both the answers as either X or Y, so you can decide which of the 2 answers you'd like to give. If you answer 1 and you write about it, that gets you 10 points. But if you're wrong about it, you get a minus 5. And of course, if there's anything else that's remaining or that's unanswered and there's somebody else after you on the buzzer who's hit the buzzer within time, I'll go to them and perhaps ask what they'd like to do, whether they'd play super if it's available, or they'll play safe and give the other answer. However, if your answer has already been given by somebody else before you on the buzzer, then you have an option of saying pass because your answer is already taken. You don't need to suffer the brunt of the negatives, right? But if you decide to answer, you please get it right. Otherwise, you're getting a negative. All right. Good luck, everyone. 6 questions coming, each with 2 answers. Here's question number 1. Look at the visuals. Any question? In 2023, the economy of Macau grew at a phenomenal 74% thanks to the reopening of tourism and gambling. At number 2 is Guyana with an impressive 38%. The reason for Guyana's growth is the successes of X subjected to such polar opposite opinions. Couple of news articles you saw. Y is a Showtime series that releases its 7th season earlier this year and is loosely inspired by the lives of this Firozpur-born lawyer who you saw on the left and hedge fund owner who you saw on the right. That's for 8 letters. So the number of letters in the answers is indicated by the number in the parenthesis. On the buzzer first is Jaikantan. Jaikantan, super or safe?
I'll go for safe.
X or Y?
Y
Is?
Billions.
That is correct. That's well done, Jaikantan. Good answer there. Gets you 10 points. I move on to Naveen, who's after you. Naveen, do you have X?
No, even I had Y.
I'll move on to Cherian. Cherian, do you have X? Cherian? Cherian, I can't hear you.
I also had Y.
Okay, you also had Y. All right. So I'll close it. And I thought Cherian will get it because it was somewhere in Cherian's industry coming from Indian Oil. The answer that I was looking for is ExxonMobil, right? So ExxonMobil and billions. The fact that ExxonMobil has uncovered a few reserves, or found a few reserves there, which has led to significant and fairly impressive growth of 38% for Guyana over the last 1 year. And that is why it's seen such widely polar opposite opinions being written about the country, riding on the success of ExxonMobil's digging there. So that's 10 points to Jaikantan. Just one answer coming, continuing to be a master of his craft. gets the first press of 10 points, Jaikantan. Right, so that's the other one. Sorry, I forgot about the other one. The other one's Billions. That was Preet Bharara and Stephen Cohen. A bit of their rivalry was showcased or was a loose inspiration for Billions. I think one of the earlier seasons, the first seasons, I think. And then, of course, that was recreated in the series in its 7th season now. So that's 10 points to Jaikantan. We will now move on to question number 2. X is a resource allocation problem. Given a set of items, and this is what it says, each with a weight and a value, determine which items to include in the collection so that the total weight is less than or equal to a given limit and the total value is as large as possible. The word X comes from German for to bite, since German soldiers carried food in X. That's 8 letters. On the right, after having found an insurance broking company, they found an insurance company Y, and in 2016 for 4 letters. On the buzzer first is Jaikantan.
I'll go for super.
Super. All right.
X is knapsack
Okay.
and Y is ACO.
That is lovely. Absolutely. Very well played there, Jaikantan. This is the knapsack problem and ACO as the insurance company. So knapsack problem essentially identifies, within a restricted amount of space, what is the maximum number of items with maximum value that you can put in. Has lots of usages in various industries, shipping and computing and mathematics and many others. And ACO, of course, by Varun Dua and Ruchi Deepak, who earlier founded the broking company CoverFox. That's a lovely answer there. Superbly played, Jaikantan. Gets you 15 points this time. Very good. To follow up with that 10-pointer on the previous questions. 15 points to Jaikantan. We'll move on to question number 3 now. As per Box Office Mojo by IMDb Pro, X ranks number 1 in the list of box office collections adjusted for inflation. It's a 4-word answer that I'm looking for. And then on the right, while many think Y is CGI, but it is actually physically built and photographed to create a CGI-like effect. And what you see in the visuals is the behind-the-scenes view of Y being created. My question is first to Jaikantan. Jaikantan, super or safe?
I'll go with super.
Super. All right.
X is Gone with the Wind.
Okay.
Y is Windows.
That is correct. So that's specifically the Windows 10 wallpaper that you see now on your screen. How it was being created. It is not a CGI, but it is an actual physically built, setup that was done to have that, light falling through the window, going through the window, and giving you the Windows 10 default wallpaper. And the film with the, which is number 1 on the list of box office collections adjusted for inflation is from 1939, Gone with the Wind. Answered absolutely with perfection there by Jaikantan. Collects another 15-pointer. That's very well done. Absolutely brilliant. All right, here's question number 4. In this illustration, the CEO of 17 Years, X, is sitting atop a rendered building of their upcoming headquarters that will be NYC's largest all-electric net zero tower. That's 2-word name, 5 and 5. Which company, which entered India in 1948, didn't quite have a joyous 75th year celebrations, as it was asked by the NCPCR to stop misleading advertising and then had to slash sugar content by about 15% in one of its most successful brands. On the buzzer is Jaikantan again. Jaikantan, what are you doing? Super or safe?
I'll play it safe.
Okay. X or Y?
I'll go for Y. I'll say Mondelez.
That is correct. It is indeed Mondelez. That's well done. That's 10 points to Jaikantan. Going next to Naveen. Naveen, do you have X?
Yeah, I'll go with X. X is Jamie Dimon.
That is correct. This is Jamie Dimon and Mondelez. Absolutely. Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan Chase. In that illustration, he was sitting atop the upcoming headquarters coming up in Park Avenue. And that's going to be the all-electric tower. Absolutely. Jamie Dimon is the answer. And Mondelez, whose brand Bonvita was under fire recently, both by NCPCR, the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, to stop misleading advertisements, and subsequently they also had to slash sugar content by 15%. That's well done, both of you. Naveen gets you 5 points and Jaykantan, this time a mere 10 points. All right, 2 questions remain in this round. Here's question number 5. In 2011, MIT received a surprise gift from one of its professors in the form of a majority stock of which name brand company, in the form of non-voting shares that it can neither sell nor participate in management decisions. The cash dividends were to be used to sustain and advance MIT's education and research. So I'm looking for the person. That's 2 words, 4 and 4. And then on the right, back in 2012, Financial Times wrote, "It's time for Y as a service, an on-demand business model designed to benefit from scale, doing away with the gaps between automation and the expertise of people. In cloud computing, there are said to be 4 service models: software, infrastructure, platform, SaaS, IaaS, and PaaS, all as a service, and Y as a service." So give me X and Y, or X or Y. Who's going first? Jaykantan again.
I'll play it safe.
X or Y?
X is Amar Bose.
Amar Bose, that is correct. That's well done. Jaykantan gets you 10 points. Going now to Naveen. Naveen, do you have Y?
No, I had X.
All right. Going now to Jyoti Prakash. Jyoti Prakash, do you have Y?
Is it service?
Indeed, that is the answer. It is service as a service. Absolutely. That's what I was looking for. So it was actually software as a service, platform as a service, and service as a service. Absolutely well done. Covering the gaps of left between automation and the lack of expertise of people. So somebody needs to service that segment. That's well done to both of you. 10 points this time to Jaykantan and 5 points to Jyoti Prakash. That's very well done, both of you. All the questions till now have been answered, is it? Is there anything that's left? I think one answer right at the very start, right? So barring one answer, all the answers, all 10 of them have been given till now. Let's see what's the status of the final 2 for this round. Here's question number 6. Charlie Munger, who died last month, was the subject of a 2005 biography consisting of his speeches titled Poor Charlie's Almanac. The title of the book is a tribute to X, who published an annual almanac under the pseudonym Richard Saunders, whose X, whose image also appears on Poor Charlie's Almanac alongside Charlie Munger. On the right, topped by TCS for 3 years in a row for the past 7 years, Y has been releasing a list of the best places to grow your career. So it says 2023 top companies India. That's also for 8 letters. On the buzzer first is Jaykantan, super or safe?
I'll play it safe.
Safe, X or Y?
I'll play X. X is Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin, that is correct. And Jaykantan from TCS not answering a question featuring TCS. So we'll move on to Naveen. Naveen, do you have Y?
Okay, I'm guessing Y is the LinkedIn.
That is correct. Indeed. Benjamin Franklin and LinkedIn. That's well done, both of you. 10 points, Jaykantan, and 5 points, Naveen. So 11 out of the 12 questions that I asked in round number 1 went answered. That's very well done, all of you. That's the end of round 1. Opportunities are plenty, and they drove home with aplomb. We will see what numbers are reflected with those chances on the scoreboard. That academic footnote lies on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
SAIL, at the forefront of nation building. Steel Authority of India Limited, an organization that tests your mettle at every step, an employer that challenges you each and every day, surprises you each moment, and teaches you something in every passing moment. A behemoth with a turnover of more than rupees 1 lakh crore, SAIL is a leader in the Indian steel industry, having a pan-India presence. Projects that had earlier remained unimaginable have been made possible with SAIL Steel, be it steel for the Statue of Unity or the thousands of kilometers of rail tracks connecting the country, the formidable INS Vikrant, or the longest bridge in the country, Dola Sadia. We are known to have the best technical and managerial talent in the country. Men and women who are always ready to take on the different challenging assignments that they encounter with dedication and passion. Sales engineers in disciplines like mechanical, electrical, metallurgical, chemical, electronics, computer, IT, mining, etc. redefine steel making each day. The limits of technical knowledge and acumen of new recruits are tested time and again. Needless to say that the talent at SAIL always shines through. Every unit in SAIL is like a huge factory in itself. With captive power plants, foundries and huge shops, the giant scale of which is totally unimaginable. Many do not know that SAIL is also the largest iron ore miner among steel-producing companies operating mining units spread across mineral-rich states of the country. Many would not even know that the quantity of the various byproducts generated at SAIL plants is so humongous that they are used as input materials in different chemical and fertilizer industries. The enterprise resource management projects such as SAP have been implemented in the company across its units, which has modernized and revolutionized the company's operations. These and similar systemic improvements are slowly leading us to the vision of Industry 4.0. SAIL handles what could be a logistics nightmare for others with effortless ease. Right from getting coal from Australia to supplying steel products to almost every district of the country. SAIL does this with smile and the contentment of contributing to the nation's growth. Steel Authority of India Limited. There is a little bit of SAIL in everybody's life.
Welcome back. In the face of effortless exhibition, it is a sensational showdown. The champion of 2019 and 2021 relishing with some resplendent rise to the surface on the back of some super answers as a service. Leading for now is Jay Kantan from TCS with a fabulous score of 70 points already. But others, Rahul at 0, Cherian at 0, Jyoti Prakash at 5, Sachin at 0, and Naveen currently placed second by some distance at 10 points, picking up some crumbs of comfort left behind. They'll have to take charge now and resist ruggedly, for there won't be chances of plenty from here on. Here's the next chance now. Belt it when you can. It's called Crossword. 5 questions, all on the buzzer in a crossword. 15 seconds of time for you to hit the buzzer and give me the answer. I'll allow for 3 different players to give me the answer, as opposed to all of you in the previous round. Only 3 of you will be allowed to give the answer. For whoever gives me the answer is attempting for 10 points if you're right, -5 if you are incorrect. So here's the crossword that needs to be solved. We'll go in order and we'll start with the first one. Here's question number 1. That's 1 across. While ChatGPT took 60 days to breach the 100 million milestone, it wasn't a record that stood for long, because what platform released by a tech giant achieved that feat in a mere 5 days? ChatGPT took 60 days, but what platform released by a tech giant took only 5 days to reach the 100 million mark? On the buzzer is Rahul. Yes, Rahul.
I think it's a Threads.
And who released it?
Threads by, I think, Twitter.
Threads by Twitter. No.
Yeah, Twitter. Twitter or someone else. I think it's an opponent to Twitter, actually.
Which would be...
I don't remember exactly, but it's Threads. I read that. It's Threads.
That is correct. It is indeed Threads, but that's by Meta, or erstwhile Facebook. Kind of surprising how you missed out on just calling them as a mere competitor of Twitter.
That they beat ChatGPT. I knew that.
Right. So anyway, that's well done. It is indeed Threads, which was springboarded by the existence of Instagram, which is where kind of like connected to how it was launched. So that is indeed the answer. It is Threads that took only 5 days to reach that figure of 100 million. That's well done. Rahul gets you on the scoreboard with a 10-pointer. That's well done. All right. Let me place threads. And we go to S down of threads, right? Here's my question, S down. Named by Popular Science in the best of what's new in entertainment in 2023, what engineering marvel that can fit the entire Statue of Liberty deployed centuries-old mathematical formulas for its construction, like the finite element method, geodesic math, law of science, visual acuity, Fanger's equation, Venturi effect, and others? On the buzzer is Jayakanthan.
This is the sphere in Las Vegas.
Is lovely, absolutely. This is the sphere in Las Vegas. The sphere is what it is. So it's fairly self-descriptive, the name. Not much really to describe there. It is in Las Vegas, opened earlier this year, named as Popular Science's best of what's new in entertainment. It looks like a fabulous venue to hold concerts. That's a lovely answer. Jayakanthan gets you 10 points. Very good. The sphere in Las Vegas. Let's move on to the next one, placing the sphere. We go to 3 down, right? It's a 6-letter answer. Here's my question. This American company entered India in 2017. At the peak of its valuation, it was valued at $47 billion 2 years later in 2019. When it was listed on the New York Stock Exchange, its market cap reached a peak figure of $9 billion in October 2021. The bankrupt company has an ownership of 27% in the Indian franchise, and the majority owner of the Indian arm is looking to raise equity funding at $600 million, where it is expected that the American parent may sell its stake, perhaps because they're bankrupt. Which company am I speaking of? On the buzzer is Cherian.
Yeah, I'll say this is WeWork.
Is correct. That's the answer. It is indeed WeWork. Absolutely, you declared bankruptcy earlier this year, and it is the Bengaluru-based embassy group that owns a majority of the Indian franchise, and they're looking for somebody else to join in to co-own WeWork India. And WeWork India claims that they're not really impacted by the bankruptcy of the global WeWork organization. That's very well done, Cherian. Welcome to the scoreboard as well. Gets you 10 points, indeed. Very good. Let's place WeWork and go to 4 across. There's E somewhere as the second letter in 4 across. Here's my question. What release from earlier this year, described as adrenaline made visible, means mixed up or scrambled? A play on the nature of the product, the first of its kind for the company. The name actually follows the nomenclature pattern of the company's previous products. However, the name is also used for a scrambled eggs dish, leading to the brand being trolled by Spanish speakers. On the buzzer is Naveen.
Okay, fine. Okay. I'm just guessing, is it Ganache by Cadbury?
Is incorrect. That's a -5, Naveen. Still waiting for anybody else to go after Naveen on that one. No. So another question going unanswered. This is from the Italian car maker Lamborghini's Revuelto. That's what I was looking for. Revuelto, which happens to be their first plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. And Revuelto in Spanish also means it's a term used for making scrambled eggs. And so Spanish speakers are kind of amused, saying that there's a Lamborghini car called scrambled eggs. That's what it is. So that's a -5, unfortunately, there for Naveen. Hard luck. Let's place Revuelto in the crossword, and we go to 5 across. The second letter is O, and the last letter is E. Here's my question. This 14-year-old brand, named after the Maori phrase for to fly over the earth, was founded by French athletes and is now based in the US. A couple of years ago, they dropped the repetitive second and third words from the website, but retained the 3-word name in official communications. Which endurance athlete's favorite brand is this? On the buzzer is Jayakanthan.
This is Hoka 11.
Hoka 11. Okay, Jayakanthan, it's not Hoka 11. That's something that I also got to know when I was creating this question. It is written as Hoka 11, but because it is a Maori word, it is pronounced as Hoka One One.
Okay.
Right? It's pronounced as Hoka One One. I mean, it's perfectly okay. Even I didn't know. I mean, of course, I'm not somebody who's considered to be the bedrock of knowledge, but I always thought that it's Hoka 11. It isn't, because it's a Maori term, and it is Hoka One One. Right? That is indeed the answer. They dropped the One One from the name, and they just Hoka now. right? So you go to hoka.com, you'll find their website. That is the answer, Jaykantan. That gets you 10 points. Well done. Good answer there to end round number 2. The South Zone final is now halfway through, and the players threading every needle on the way. Truly a delightful experience watching them ooze the air of confidence. And of course, as qualifiers from other zones, if they're watching, experiencing as we speak a psychological battle of reputation, even before they step into the ring. But let's just come back and operate within the realms of this contest. Here's the next round. This round, Clues Day. In this round, I'll be giving you 5 questions, all of them on the buzzer. What you have to do is you have to solve the overall answer on the buzzer. I'll allow for 3 different players to hit the buzzer and answer. Do not answer for the part answers. First, you have to hit the buzzer for the overall answer. Only when you get the overall answer right will I let you answer the part answers as a bonus. There are no negatives for the part answers. 1 point for every part answer that you give me, but 10 points for the overall answer. It's only the player who gives me the overall answer who gets to answer the part answers to collect 1 point each. And those 1 points will perhaps, if needed, will go a long way in helping out with breaking any ties by the end of this competition, right? So that's the intention for those 1 points, but it is the overall answer that I'm looking for that will get you 10 points. All right, good luck, everyone. 5 questions coming. I hope you have your pen paper ready. You need to do some solution, and eventually that's how you'll arrive at those answers. Although with the overall answer, I'll also give you some clue to get you thinking in the direction of the answer so that you know you don't derail entirely and think in completely different direction. We've had some wonderful answers in this round of the 3 previous zones, and I'm looking forward to an even better round number 3 in the South Zone. All right, here's question number 1, 30 seconds. First over $1 billion. 10 seconds. So 4-letter answer. 5 seconds. Time is up. Nobody is attempting this. The first ever to cross $1 billion collections in a music tour, the concert, the person of the year for 2023. This is Taylor Swift's Eras tour is what I was looking for. That was part answers. That was Pita's Beauty Without Bunnies, Sri Lankan Airlines, Charminar Cigarettes, and the coat of arms of the Siemens family in Germany. How could we let 2023 go without speaking of the rise of Taylor Swift? That's no answers, unfortunately, from anyone. We'll move on to the next one. Here's number 2. A cold shoulder from Reliance. 5 letters. On the buzzer, somebody seems to have worked this out. This is Cherian. Yes, Cherian.
Yeah, I'll say this is Danzo.
That is lovely. Why? You can solve for part answers, collect 1 point each.
Huawei.
Huawei, that's correct.
Rest I don't know, sorry.
Don't tell me you only solved Huawei and you
I saw only one.
got Danzo. That's absolutely brilliant. You're saying that you don't want to answer anything else. That's perfectly okay. That gets you 10 and a 1. So that's 11 points to you, Cherian. That's mighty surprising how you just got Huawei and you solved for the entire thing, extrapolated that. That's, whatever works in your favor, that's good. The first one is the Deming Prize. The second one, of course, is Huawei that you identified. What you see as number 3 is the Manhattan Henge. Number 4 is the 2 founders of Zepto. And finally, is Pocket FM, right? So that's what I was looking for. That's well done. So it is, why the question said cold shoulder from Reliance. So perhaps there was, Reliance funded them and still Danzo is struggling with staying afloat and kind of an indication that, only they'll survive only if Reliance infuses more funds into it. That's why the clue. Right. So well done to Cherian solving this one after the first one. just went by with nobody attempting. 11 points to you, Cherian. Let's move on to number 3. Financial inclusion or increased surveillance. Who's gone for it? That's Cherian again. Yes, Cherian. Cherian, I need an answer.
I'll say this is e-rupee or the central digital currency.
Say that again.
Digital
4 letters.
rupee. Digital rupee. E-rupee.
Digital rupee.
Yeah.
That's incorrect. I was looking for a 4-letter answer. That's not the answer. That's a -5, Cherian. I'll go to Naveen now. Naveen. Naveen. You're muted. Naveen, no answer. I'll have to give you a negative. If
Oh,
you don't-
this is brick.
Brick. That is incorrect. That's a -5, Naveen. I'll go to Jaykantan.
Yeah, I'll try CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency.
That is correct. It is CBDC, not digital rupee. I'll ask Jaykantan. Why?
Yeah. First one is Crocs.
That's correct.
Second one is Jamnalal Bajaj.
That's correct.
Fourth one is Cadillac.
That's correct.
This one.
Are you giving me the third one?
Third one. No, I don't have third one. Sorry.
All right. So that's 10 followed by a 3. Jaykantan, that's 13 points to you. You gave Crocs, you gave Jamnalal Bajaj, you gave Cadillac. What you didn't give was the Vagabonds, the story of Thomas Alva Edison and Henry Ford. So that's what I was looking for. This is CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currencies. Can't give it to you for digital rupee, although that's one of them. But the question specifically asked for CBDC. You don't arrive at digital rupee by solving that. Right, so -5 to Cherian, -5 to Naveen, but a +13 to Jaykantan. Question number 4 now. Regulation killed the acquisition star. Jaykantan's gone for it already. Jaykantan, what's your overall answer?
Yeah, I'll say Figma.
Lovely. Why?
First one is Bofors.
That's correct.
The second one is Checklist.
That is correct.
Securitas. Okay. Third one looks familiar, but that's all I can get. That's all.
All right. So 2 you can answer, and you've given me the overall answer. So that's 10 and a 2 gives you 12 points, Jaykantan, further building on your lead already. The ones that you missed out on, the third one is the Swedish central bank, the Sveriges Riksbank. The next one is Martin Sorrell of WPP. And finally is Azim Premji Foundation. That gets you the A for Figma. So this essentially talks about Adobe's Figma acquisition that did not fall through because of regulatory roadblocks. That was indeed the answer, Jaykantan. Perhaps it was just the clue that worked in your favor. That's very well done. Gets you 12 points. Yeah, 10 plus 2. So 12 points there to Jaykantan. And now to the final question of round number 3. Project Ruby comes to an end. Three seconds. Looks like nobody's trying this one. Project Ruby was essentially the term that was used at Manchester United to find a new owner. In place of Glazers, there are new owners for Manchester United, although the Glazers hasn't given up the entire ownership, but there is shared ownership now with 25% coming in from Ineos, who we now know for, who, you know, perhaps you don't know them otherwise for their sporting interest, you would know for the sub 2-hour marathon that was sponsored by them a couple of years, 3-4 years ago, I think. And so that is what it was. This is Ineos. So we have new owners at Manchester United, and the search for the new owners was called Project Ruby internally. So that is what this question was about. Nobody answering this one. No points to anyone. Brings an end to what has been a fabulously well played round number 3, signaling an end for this round as well. The round that we've just witnessed, I've introduced for the first time, testing the breadth and the depth of the knowledge of our players. While the East and West zone could only manage to get 2 out of 5 right, in the South zone, we got 3 out of 5 right, and the most that we got were in the North zone, where we got as many as 4 out of 5 right. And so that is that for this round. It tested the presence of mind, which was beyond excellent. The experience, certainly beyond prize. A special bunch that we have here today that is now well stacked at the scoreboard, which is where we headed. But that's on the other side of this break. Stay tuned.
SAIL, at the forefront of nation building. Steel Authority of India Limited, an organization that tests your mettle at every step. An employer that challenges you each and every day, surprises you each moment, and teaches you something in every passing moment. A behemoth with a turnover of more than rupees 1 lakh crore, SAIL is a leader in the Indian steel industry, having a pan-India presence. Projects that had earlier remained unimaginable have been made possible with SAIL Steel, be it steel for the Statue of Unity or the thousands of kilometers of rail tracks connecting the country, the formidable INS Vikrant, or the longest bridge in the country, Dola Sadia. We are known to have the best technical and managerial talent in the country. Men and women who are always ready to take on the different challenging assignments that they encounter with dedication and passion. SAIL's engineers in disciplines like mechanical, electrical, metallurgical, chemical, electronics, computer, IT, mining, etc. redefine steel making each day. The limits of technical knowledge and acumen of new recruits are tested time and again. Needless to say that the talent at SAIL always shines through. Every unit in SAIL is like a huge factory in itself, with captive power plants, foundries and huge shops, the giant scale of which is totally unimaginable. Many do not know that SAIL is also the largest iron ore miner among steel producing companies operating mining units spread across mineral-rich states of the country. Many would not even know that the quantity of the various byproducts generated at SAIL plants is so humongous that they are used as input materials in different chemical and fertilizer industries. The enterprise resource management projects such as SAP have been implemented in the company across its units, which has modernized and revolutionized the company's operations. These and similar systemic improvements are slowly leading us to the vision of Industry 4.0. SAIL handles what could be a logistics nightmare for others with effortless ease. Right from getting coal from Australia to supplying steel products to almost every district of the country. SAIL does this with smile and the contentment of contributing to the nation's growth. Steel Authority of India Limited. There is a little bit of SAIL in everybody's life.
Welcome back. Being the last of the 4 zones, our 6 players for today began the show standing shoulder to shoulder with complete information symmetry. However, 3 rounds in for Jaykantan from TCS, it has only gotten better with 115 points already, with such significant advantage that in the last segment, our remaining contenders will be as good as racing with a broken wheel. For now, we have Rahul at 10, Naveen at 0, Cherian at 16 and currently second, Jyoti at 5, and Sachin still to open his account. But in all honesty, Jaykantan is making it look so ridiculously easy when we know it clearly isn't. The others can still manage to shake the faith and manage to get something back at him, like we saw a couple of episodes ago when Bilai slingshotted past Fujitsu right at the very end. Hope isn't the only pope one doesn't believe in. So keep the flame flickering as I offer some oxygen in the form of questions which come with opportunities to step up your game quite literally. It is the final round now, and it's called Triple Trouble. In this round, I'll be asking 6 questions, all on the buzzer. You'll have 15 seconds of time to hit the buzzer and then subsequently give me the answer. You won't see the question in its entirety on screen. You'll see the operative part. And in the last 3 questions, you'll see some images accompanying that operative part of the question. Hit the buzzer. When you do, I stop reading the question anymore because by hitting the buzzer, you've indicated you know the answer already. So there's no need for me to read out the question anymore. You tell me what your answer is. If you get it right, I'll give you points. If you don't get it right, I'll take away points. But even before you answer, you have the option of saying step up. When you step up, you're answering for 20 points and a -10 if incorrect, or step down. Just dip your toes if you're not too confident, but still want to get something out of the question and don't want to let it go waste. So you can say step down, 5 points if you're right, -2 only if you're wrong. But if you don't say step up, step down, we're playing default for +10 and -5. And I'll also request before you answer, please allow me to say what your strategy is after you. If you're saying step up, I'll say step up after you. And that's how we confirm that, yes, you decided to step up. And then you can proceed with giving me your answer. Right, so 6 questions coming. First 3 without any visuals, the final 3 with some visuals. We'll start with the first one. The moment you hit the buzzer, I'll stop reading the question anymore. Please unmute and tell me what you're planning to do, and then give me your answer. Here's question number 1. What establishments on the buzzer is Rahul Jayanti already?
Freak, man.
Stepping up, stepping down?
I'm stepping up.
Stepping up.
Yeah, these are basically coffee houses during that time.
Coffee houses during the time. Okay, my question. What establishments took London by storm by 1700? There were more than 2,000 of these in London, occupying more premises and paying more rent than any other trade. They came to be known as penny universities because for that price, one could find themselves a place and sit for hours listening to extraordinary conversations. That's an extraordinary answer there, Rahul. That's lovely. Gets you a +20. The fact that you decided to step up, I'm not sure on what. Perhaps you're well aware of London's history, or maybe you know what penny universities are like. Either case, you get 20 points. That's well done. Now to number 2. From the October 2023 book, The Greatest Capitalist Who Ever Lived. On the buzzer is Cherian.
This is Microsoft.
All right, you're answering and you're saying Microsoft. My question, from The Greatest Capitalist Who Ever Lived, in 1980, bruised by nearly 13 years of antitrust litigation, IBM executives made the colossal error of permitting a then 25-year-old ex, a co-founder of a company with several dozen employees, to retain the rights to the operating system that IBM had subcontracted with him to develop for its then secret personal computer project. That mistake was the accidental birth of which company that by 1993 was valued $27 billion, thus overtaking IBM in the process. And I hope, Cherian, it wasn't a colossal error that you did not decide to step up. It was by design. That gets you 10 points in either case, regardless. That's very well done. Indeed, that 25-year-old was Bill Gates, and the company he founded was Microsoft. That some say was an accidental birth of IBM because they allowed them to retain the rights to whatever OS they were developing. That's a lovely answer there by Cherian, gets you 10 points. Very good. Let's move on to question number 3 now. Which club that has only 500 members, including full, life, and honorary, was founded in 1868 and had a couple of name changes? In 1877 to reflect the dual focus, and in 1899 to shuffle the order of the two. Full and life membership is limited to just 375, which is based on the number of seats in its old Worples Road stand, from which the club moved in 1922. As membership is hard to come by, the next best thing is to be a debenture holder that are issued every 5 years. On the buzzer is Naveen.
Okay, I'm
Stepping up.
stepping up.
Stepping
This
up.
is this is All England lawn tennis club,
Which is also known as
Wimbledon.
the Wimbledon. That is lovely. Indeed. Well done, Naveen, on stepping up. It is the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club, better known as Wimbledon, earlier in the Whirlpool Road stand, which is from which the club moved to Wimbledon. That's the location. And the 500 member only club. And because you don't really get membership easily, the next best thing is to be a debenture holder, which Wimbledon releases every 5 years. That's a lovely answer there, Naveen. The fight for second place, really, really hot. 20 points to you for stepping up. 3 questions remain. Here's question number 4. Unveiled at the Global FinTech Fest in Mumbai earlier this year, NPCI and Hitachi launched a certain ATM on Android OS, claiming all these feature improvements like innovation design, one-touch experience, reliable and durable, energy efficient, opens up new business avenues. What innovation has it introduced? Unveiled by NPCI and Hitachi Payment Services. What innovation? What is this introduction? There's nobody trying on the buzzer. The answer that I was looking for at a very crucial stage, a question goes unanswered. This is a QR-based UPI cash withdrawal. So instead of using your debit or credit cards, you can now withdraw cash using UPI. They claim that it's going to be 30% cheaper for the makers and thus a quicker profit process for whoever owns that particular ATM. This is UPI-led cash withdrawals. So doesn't really need a card reader, doesn't need quite a few other hardware that is needed in the existing ATMs. So nobody answered this one. 2 questions remaining, 40 points to be won, depending on, of course, if you decide to step up on both. Which way those 40 points are going, we'll find out. Here's question number 5. Supersonic jet aircrafts like the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird have such cones that are marked with the arrow that maintain proper airflow and air pressure in the jet's turbine at fast speeds, thus preventing the engine from choking. These cones biomimic the baffles found in the nostrils of X, which deflect shock waves of air from the nasal passage. What is X? Who do they biomimic? On the buzzer is Cherian. Cherian, stepping up, stepping down.
Yeah, I'll step down.
Step down. And you'll say?
I'll say this is Kingfisher.
Sorry, what are you saying?
Kingfisher.
Kingfisher. I'm afraid it's not Kingfisher. So the fact that you weren't too confident and you decided to step down, which is very good. You limited your losses at least. That's a -2 only. It's not the Kingfisher. It is the fastest animal in the world, fastest from the animal kingdom in the world, swoops down with as much as 400 kilometers per hour. This is the peregrine falcon, right, which goes to its prey as fast as nearly 400 kilometers per hour. And you can see on its nostril, there's a little baffle. That's what it's called, which allows it to sort of spread the air all around and not just suffer the brunt of the fast moving fast through the air, right? So that is what I was looking for. That is the biomimicry that is seen in such supersonic jets. -2 there to Cherian, and we move on to our final question for the South Zone. These are all fully owned subsidiaries of which organization? On the buzzer is Cherian. Cherian, stepping up, stepping down.
I'll go with step down.
Step down, okay?
And I'll say this is RBI.
This is?
RBI, Reserve Bank of India.
RBI, Reserve Bank of India. And you've decided to step down on this. I hope you've got your math right. I have no idea. But you've got the answer correct, which is more important. So that's very well done. It is indeed RBI. So that's the Bharatiya Reserve Bank Note Mudran Reserve Bank Information Technology Private Limited, National Housing Bank, IFTAS, and Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. That is, these are all fully owned subsidiaries of the Reserve Bank of India. Cherian seems to be pumping the air in delight. Maybe he's got the math right. I'm not too sure about it. We'll find out on the scoreboard with, perhaps it's something that works in his favor. Is it Cherian who's icing the cake with cream and cherry on top? That whether it was or it wasn't, that was the South Zone final for you. A full package. We had action and adventure, brilliance and bravery, character and calmness like the kind we saw at the end. It was full ABCD. And so there will be delight as there will be despair when we see the final scores in due course on the other side of this final break. Stay with us.
SAIL, at the forefront of nation building. Steel Authority of India Limited, an organization that tests your mettle at every step. An employer that challenges you each and every day, surprises you each moment and teaches you something in every passing moment. A behemoth with a turnover of more than rupees 1 lakh crore, SAIL is a leader in the Indian steel industry, having a pan-India presence. Projects that had earlier remained unimaginable have been made possible with SAIL Steel, be it steel for the Statue of Unity or the thousands of kilometers of rail tracks connecting the country, the formidable INS Vikrant or the longest bridge in the country, Dola Sadia. We are known to have the best technical and managerial talent in the country. Men and women who are always ready to take on the different challenging assignments that they encounter with dedication and passion. SAIL's engineers in disciplines like mechanical, electrical, metallurgical, chemical, electronics, computer, IT, mining, etc. redefine steel making each day. The limits of technical knowledge and acumen of new recruits are tested time and again. Needless to say that the talent at SAIL always shines through. Every unit in SAIL is like a huge factory in itself, with captive power plants, foundries and huge shops, the giant scale of which is totally unimaginable. Many do not know that SAIL is also the largest iron ore miner among steel-producing companies operating mining units spread across mineral-rich states of the country. Many would not even know that the quantity of the various byproducts generated at SAIL plants is so humongous that they are used as input materials in different chemical and fertilizer industries. The enterprise resource management projects such as SAP have been implemented in the company across its units, which has modernized and revolutionized the company's operations. These and similar systemic improvements are slowly leading us to the vision of Industry 4.0. SAIL handles what could be a logistics nightmare for others with effortless ease, right from getting coal from Australia to supplying steel products to almost every district of the country. SAIL does this with smile and the contentment of contributing to the nation's growth. Steel Authority of India Limited. There is a little bit of SAIL in everybody's life. SAIL, at the forefront of nation building. Steel Authority of India Limited, an organization that tests your mettle at every step. An employer that challenges you each and every day, surprises you each moment and teaches you something in every passing moment. A behemoth with a turnover of more than rupees 1 lakh crore, SAIL is a leader in the Indian steel industry, having a pan-India presence. Projects that had earlier remained unimaginable have been made possible with SAIL steel, be it steel for the Statue of Unity or the thousands of kilometers of rail tracks connecting the country, the formidable INS Vikrant or the longest bridge in the country, Dola Sadia. We are known to have the best technical and managerial talent in the country. Men and women who are always ready to take on the different challenging assignments that they encounter with dedication and passion. Sales engineers in disciplines like mechanical, electrical, metallurgical, chemical, electronics, computer, IT, mining, etc. redefine steel making each day. The limits of technical knowledge and acumen of new recruits are tested time and again. Needless to say that the talent at SAIL always shines through. Every unit in SAIL is like a huge factory in itself, with captive power plants, foundries and huge shops, the giant scale of which is totally unimaginable. Many do not know that SAIL is also the largest iron ore miner among steel producing companies operating mining units spread across mineral-rich states of the country. Many would not even know that the quantity of the various byproducts generated at SAIL plants is so humongous that they are used as input materials in different chemical and fertilizer industries. The enterprise resource management projects such as SAP have been implemented in the company across its units, which has modernized and revolutionized the company's operations. These and similar systemic improvements are slowly leading us to the vision of Industry 4.0. SAIL handles what could be a logistics nightmare for others with effortless ease, right from getting coal from Australia to supplying steel products to almost every district of the country. SAIL does this with smile and the contentment of contributing to the nation's growth. Steel Authority of India Limited. There is a little bit of SAIL in everybody's life.
Welcome back. It was Udaan at its boiling best. It was a red carpet platform seeking entertainment, and entertained we absolutely were, and how. Firstly, regardless of the reputation that he came with, it was a performance par for the course, so complete in itself that days and even months from now, he will look back at it with glee. The news from the center is the national champion in 2019 and 21 has made his way into the national final in another odd year, 2023 as well. Congratulations, Jayakantan from TCS, with a score of 115 points. You're the winner of the South Zone final. And of course, joining him in a rather unusual circumstance. Like I said in my head, I'm not too sure if, he's got the answers right, but I'm not too sure if he's got the math right. And unfortunately for him, he missed out on the math. He's missed out by just 1 point. He was in the national final last year, but unfortunately this year, Cherian Verghese from Indian Oil, you'll miss out by 1 point. You will finish with a score of 29 and in third place, which means in second place, qualifying for the first time as a debutant in Udaan, straight into the national final, is Rahul Jayanti from RINL with a score of just 30 points, 1 point ahead of Cherian. Congratulations, Rahul.
Thank you.
Right, so that's Rahul Jayanti and Jayakantan reserving their respective berths in the national final, coming from RINL and TCS respectively. The others, Naveen, a former champion himself, finishing with a score of 20 points. Then is Jyoti Prakash with a score of 5. And wrapping up the list of debutants was Sachin Sultanpuri from Canara Bank with a score of 0, hoping that this was an experience worth replicating. The respect, however, for each one of you, for those who haven't qualified, was earned regardless when the spotlight wasn't really shining on you and you were working hard to be here. I hope the experience was worth it, not just one time, but twice, for I extend an invitation to you and to everybody watching us to come back and fight again next year. And I'll see you then. This was the 13th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz organized by Steel Authority of India Limited, National HRD Network Ranchi Chapter, and National HRD Network. All right, so one final question for the evening. Connect, one from Capgemini, two from SAIL, one from Fujitsu, one from EY, one from Barclays, one from TCS, and finally one from RINL. I'd like to use QM's discretionary powers and step up and collect all the points and prizes for guessing it correct. The connect is, this is going to be the starting lineup in the 13th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz National Final. The list includes 2 former first runner-ups and 1 former national champion. Quite illustrious, isn't it? It will be an epic showdown. Their first move of the new year, but the last dance for Udaan 2023. See you next Sunday, the 7th of January at 8 p.m. Bye-bye and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Ajay.